Hello, Algebra 2. Just wanted to update you on a few things. On Microsoft Teams, when you have your assignments, you do not have to mark them as complete. If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay. If you don't, it's going to say that it's past due. And that's okay. If you are bothered by that, then go in and mark it as complete. It's no big deal. I can go in and see what you viewed. So I know whether or not you're looking at the assignments and doing the things you're supposed to be doing. So don't worry about it. You can mark it as completed or turned in if you want, but you don't have to. It's fine with me, whatever works for you guys. The only thing that's going to have to be turned in are quizzes. And the first quiz is coming Friday. And hopefully you were able to go on to lesson 1 and do the first quiz, which was just a trial run, and mark your answers, and we're good. And hopefully that was all good for you. So I'm going to just do a quick warm-up like I always do in class. And the warm-up I have today is just a review of what we just did. So if you want to take a second, pause the video, complete this warm-up, and I'll go over that in a second. Welcome back. All right, so on the board I have triangle RBD, which stands for Rainbow Dash, and we are going to go over this real quick. So sine of R, sine, remember, is opposite over hypotenuse. So here's angle R, opposite is 4, hypotenuse is 5, so 4/5 would be your answer there. The cosine of D, angle D is down here, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so adjacent's 4, hypotenuse is 5, so that's going to be 4/5. Tight squeeze in there, but we're good. The tangent of R, up here back to R, tangent is opposite over adjacent, sorry. O over A, opposite is 4, adjacent is 3. 4/3. All right, hopefully that warm-up went okay for you. Let me know if you have questions. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about drawing angles as rotations. That's going to be the premise of today, so write that down here. Drawing angles as rotations. I'll teach you how to do that here real quick. So first, let's just draw an X and Y axis. You all should know that. You're used to that. So let me just quickly just remind you about your quadrants. You do this in geometry. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So those are your quadrants. You need to know where those are. You need to know that any angle that's positive opens in the counterclockwise directions. So we go this way when we're dealing with positive angles. So this angle up at the top right here is actually 90 degrees. This is 180 degrees. This is 270. This is 360. We go in this direction when we draw positive angles. All right, so we can also draw angles in the negative direction. So if I wanted to, I could go this way and start drawing my angles. If I did, this would now be negative 90 degrees. This would be negative 180 degrees. This would be negative 270 degrees. And this would be negative 360 degrees. Let me also point out that this angle right here could also be 0 degrees because that's where we start from. So that is how it works as far as angles go. We can draw them going this way or going that way. It just depends on if they're positive or negative. So I'm going to show you a couple quick examples of sketching some angles and determining what quadrant they're in. To show you how that works. So the first angle I have is, let's say for example, I wanted you to sketch a 150-degree angle and tell me what quadrant it lies in. So we sketch our X and Y axis. We know that it's a positive 150, so we're going to open in this direction. We're going to go counterclockwise. We know that one complete trip to right here is 180 degrees. We're not going to quite go that far. We're only going to 150. So we need to make sure we stop short of 180. So if I was going to sketch a 150-degree angle, it would probably be about right there. And that little arc right there is just indicating what direction I went to get there. So this is about 150 degrees, which puts me in quadrant 2. All right. Okay, let's try one more. Let's do negative 210 degrees. So this time we're negative, so we're going to go in the negative direction. So we're heading this way. So this is negative 90, this is negative 180, this is negative 270. So we're going negative 210. If I go in this direction, that puts me at negative 180, but I need to go 30 degrees more to get to negative 210. So that's going to put me about right there. So there is negative 210 degrees, which also lands me in quadrant 2. All right. Now, what can be a little tricky is if you are asked to sketch an angle that is bigger than 360 or bigger than negative 360. So what if I asked you to sketch an angle that is 500 degrees? Where would that lie? What quadrant is that in? So sketch my X and Y axis here real quick. So 500 degrees means we're going around more than once. So if I start here, where I begin at 0 degrees, and I go around one full trip, that's going to put me at 360, but I got to keep going because I need to get to 500. So I need to go $140 degrees more than I just did. So if I'm at 360 here and I go 140 more, that's going to be 90 to here. If I kept going, that'd be 180. I don't want to go all that way. So I want to make sure I stop 40 degrees short of 180. So I want to stop about, right in there, we'll call it. So there is 500 degrees approximately. And these are sketches. They're not perfect. They're not exact. They're just about where they lie. And that proves to us that we're also in quadrant 2 for this angle as well. All right, so that's just a brief preview of how you sketch angles and how you identify what quadrant they go in. I think all is good. Mr. Bigglesworth, here we go.